What's going on, guys? It's Sam and Joku with Ravens Talk. Huge win by the Ravens, 38-41. Ravens winning it, obviously, with the overtime field goal. What a game. I mean, if you're a fan of football, if you're a fan of high-scoring offenses, then you were definitely a fan of this. Huge game, huge win by Baltimore. Listen, there are certain things that we liked about this game. Obviously, Lamar Jackson, we'll touch on a little bit, but also some things that maybe giving fans a little bit of pause, making them a little nervous. So I wanted to touch on it, and I think the defense giving up 5 touchdowns by Joe Burrow on paper looks pretty bad. And in some instances it is. Joe Burrow definitely took advantage of the Ravens defense, something we talked about on the podcast. But there are little things in this that we're seeing in this game that leads me to believe there are chances for the Ravens to improve. Obviously, a guy like Joe Burrow is going to let the little mistakes feel big because he has the potential, along with his receivers and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, to really gash your defense. We'll take a moment to look at this first clip. It's a shotgun formation. We have 3 receivers on the left, 1 on the right at the bottom of your screen. And this is pretty much the Jamar Chase T. Higgins show. And right now you have 2 DBs and 3 receivers. And that is the first thing that Joe Burrow is going to be looking at. Now you see there's a potential for there to be a safety on Jamar Chase. And if you're Joe Burrow, that's also very exciting for you. So all of these things, you're giving Joe Burrow a chance to potentially make a mistake. That's what the Ravens are trying to do here. You're showing me something, and Joe Burrow knows, okay, well, this is the Ravens. Obviously, the Ravens aren't going to actually do this and leave a safety on Jamar Chase. So Joe Burrow has to analyze the field. Now I want you to pay attention to this man, the general, Roquan Smith. Right now, it looks like they're going to be sending at least 6 guys at Joe Burrow, 6 on 5. Maybe the running back here can provide some help, but Joe Burrow has to be thinking, okay, either they're blitzing 5, and we have to watch out for either the safety help on Jamar Chase or Kyle Hamilton coming over here and potentially providing some zone coverage on Jamar Chase, or something else is going on. Let's play the clip. Takes the ball. Roquan Smith immediately goes after Jamar Chase. Now, why do I not like this play? One, you're asking a lot of Roquan Smith. You're asking a lot from your linebacker to play coverage on one of the greatest receivers of all time. And also, you have Kyle Hamilton here. Kyle Hamilton is in space, and I'm sure he's here to potentially disrupt any crossing routes that go their way. But that's not what this is. This is pretty much 2 post routes going directly into the end zone, and Roquan Smith has a decision to make. And Joe Burrow knows that immediately because he's just watching this. I mean, once he sees Roquan Smith make his way over to Jamar Chase, and he knows that this safety feed planner is really just trying to protect the end zone best he can, this is going to be easy pickings for Joe Burrow. We continue to play here. Jamar Chase is pretty much past Roquan Smith, but still, Roquan is doing a good job of covering Jamar Chase to the fact that if Joe Burrow was to make this throw, it'll be pretty impressive to get over Roquan Smith. And also, this safety at this moment can still make a play on the ball, maybe for an INT, possibly for a tackle short of the goal line, but most likely this isn't where Joe Burrow wants to go. Now let's pay attention to T. Higgins because this is the play. Right now you're asking a lot of your DB here. First of all, he's shaded. He's trying to protect the go route here and his seam route here. So you're putting a lot of pressure on Roquan Smith here to not only cover Jamar Chase, but T. Higgins as well. What happens? Joe Burrow sees it. Roquan Smith, without a DB, can't cover 2 guys. Easy touchdown. Easy. I mean, typically, certain offenses, maybe Roquan has a chance to make this, but you want him to guard T. Higgins and Jamar Chase? That's asking a lot. So you can make a case that Roquan was out of position there, but that's the play design. That's by design. You're creating a situation where he's already out of position. He's trying to cover two guys at once. So great job by the offensive calling for the Bengals and really put the Ravens defense on their heels on this one. So if you're asking me if this is a poor coverage by Roquan Smith, I'll say no, he did the best of what was given to him. And I understand the coverage and what they're trying to do here. But in the end, I think it was just a little too much asking-wise by Zachary Orr. Okay, second clip. Another defensive look-see for the Ravens. Very similar to the first look that we got in the red zone for the Bengals last clip. The receivers up here, one at the bottom. This really challenges the communication skills of your defense. Also, you have T. Higgins, you have Jamar Chase on the field, so you're nervous if you're a defensive play caller and if you're a DB. Right now, we're going to be focusing on the safeties because it was the safeties that cost this play. You got your two safeties up top here, Eddie Jackson and Marcus Williams. And you got Brandon Stevens over here. I want you to watch these three closely. Mostly, I want you to watch Marcus Williams and Brandon Stevens because I think you'll get a good idea of what went wrong here. We'll start the play. Ball's hiked. Receivers are already making their way through the second level of the defense. So if you're a safety, you know the pressure's on you to make this play. We're moving. All right, we're stopping here. Now, remember last time we had kind of a two post route look-see here into the end zone. Right here, Marcus Williams has a decision to make. Do I stay here and guard this guy on a streak, or do I assume he's going to head this way? That's the mindset of the safety right now. He has help kind of up here, but assume this man is streaking, and he's one-on-one with him. So that's why I said pay attention to Brandon Stevens here just to get a good look at what the mindset may have been for Marcus Williams. But this is pretty much a choose which way you're going to die here. If this receiver is indeed going this way, Marcus Williams has to know that he has help up top here. But can you assume that this DB is going to make it fast enough, or Marlon Humphrey will make it there fast enough to help out? So in my opinion, Marcus Williams has to focus in on this receiver and decide which way he's going to go. And you got enough space where you don't really need to make a decision, truly. But Marcus baits on the potentiality of this receiver streaking, and he gets caught out of position. See it right there. He decides to defend the streak. Instead, he makes his way across the field. And you're asking a lot of Marlon Humphrey here to catch Jamar Chase. Instead, that's an easy touchdown. So, again, this isn't a talent thing. I don't think. This isn't a talent thing where the Ravens have to find help. This is just understanding the coverage you're in and understanding your role in the defense and not trying to do too much. Marcus Williams, really, this is his mistake. I mean, he could easily have followed this guy and made a way of it. But he has to decide, okay, which way is this receiver going? And he chose wrong, matter of factly. And the making the hard choice like that is just crazy to me for you to decide that quickly that there's going to be a streak. Maybe he saw something in film that led him to believe that was going to be, in fact, the seam route when, in fact, it wasn't. Or maybe it was a seam route and Jamar Chase saw him go that way and decided to pivot. Jamar Chase had that ability to give him the space, but Marcus Williams, I think, chose too quickly to defend one way, and Jamar Chase does the rest. Easy touchdown. Okay, third clip. Defense still out there. Red zone trip again. This is one where I believe motion ruled the day. Right now you have T. Higgins. He's going to motion in a minute, but I wanted to talk to you about it first. He's going to motion this way. And most times, a team will motion either to get their receiver in better position, but mostly to gain information. That's what the Bengals do here. Let's start the clip. Motion. Remember, Marlon Humphrey was on this guy. At least that's what it looked like on paper. But as you pay attention, you see that this is, in fact, not the matchup that we're watching. Instead, watch who actually moves. And if you're a quarterback, this is what you're paying attention to. Marlon Humphrey goes up, but watch Marcus Williams starts to shade over here. When the ball is hiked, I also want you to pay attention to Eddie Jackson. Eddie Jackson lets the safety know, okay, this guy's my responsibility. Now listen to what I just said. I have T. Higgins. A safety is getting matched up one-on-one with T. Higgins on the outside with zero help as far as sideline and being used as a defender. I'm just going one-on-one with one of the better receivers in the National Football League. But anyway, he tells the safety, okay, you got the tight end. I have T. Higgins. And this is just chicken dinner. Remember, he has no help on the outside. So, of course, Eddie Jackson is going to assume that this is going to be a run to the right. If I have coverage inside, maybe I have a little bit of assistance. Maybe Joe Burrow believes that a safety will be here to get help. So his initial instinct is to shade right. But T. Higgins doesn't. He goes inside. Easy pass to a touchdown. And that's pretty much the game as far as what Joe Burrow does. There are other clips in there, and I think I'll have one more clip to show you with the Ravens defense out there. But for the most part, this is just what it is. Small mistakes by the DBs, small mistakes by Zachary Orr, putting these guys in position to get torched potentially by these high-octane offenses. I mean, you're not going to get a more dynamic offensive powerhouse than the Bengals, I believe. Even though the Commanders are up next, they do have the potential to score points. I don't think that they pose quite the matchup that these receivers have. I mean, we just talked about Jamar Chase and T. Higgins back to back to back. Those two receivers are unfair in regards to the passing attack and what the DBs have to go through. So a lot of miscommunication, a lot of Bengals offense setting up these defensive backs to make these mistakes, but nothing crazy, nothing out of the ordinary that will have me believe, oh yeah, this defense is cooked. I think this defense will be just fine as they get acclimated to Zachary or as they get acclimated to playing as a team. Okay, last clip of the defense. I just wanted to show you this because I think this is something that the Ravens could implement into their offense. I really do like the way that this play is designed, and we see a lot of teams do this, but I rarely see the Ravens bend the rules, and that's kind of what we saw here with the Bengals. I think you have, again, we talked about it ad nauseum, 3 receivers on one side, 1 at the bottom, right? But for this play, the receiver isn't going to be the one getting the attention. Not at all. It's going to be their their running back, I should say. And I can't tell if that's Chase Brown. I believe that was Chase Brown. It is Chase Brown that got that touchdown grab. But just pay attention to what the Bengals do here. It looks like Gesicki is lined up one-on-one with the DB. And just take a look. Look at what Gesicki does. Immediately goes in for the chip. This is illegal, in my opinion. It's illegal, but they get away with it all the time. So the Ravens should start doing it. The corner has no way to get to this running back in time. He's out of position. Because of that chip, easy touchdown. The Ravens should implement this. You have Justice Hill. They've already started to implement him more in the passing game. Get it together like this. Lamar Jackson's always in shotgun. Give your receivers a chance to get easy touchdown grabs like this. I mean, just a chip. He's sitting there like he's going to get a catch. So annoying. But that was my only gripe as far as what the Bengals did, and is what a lot of these NFL teams do. But again, this isn't the Ravens are a bad defense. This is the offense just having their way. Again, so I think if you're concerned about the Ravens defense, I get that. I get it. But a lot of this is miscommunication. Maybe a couple of instances where the DC is putting their players in bad positions. But for the most part, this is easy fixes. Easy fixes. Now, I couldn't do this show without highlighting what Lamar Jackson was able to do as well. Lots of clips I could show You're going to see a lot of these all 22 videos with Lamar Jackson going crazy. I just got on social media this morning. Tons of clips of the Ravens offense doing what they do. That's why I kind of wanted to focus on the defense, but I'm not an idiot. I mean, let's take a look at what Lamar Jackson was able to do on this play. And let's take a look at it first this way. This is just, a muff snap by Lamar Jackson. He drops it. And let's watch and take a look at what the Ravens are trying to do. You have, looks like to be a crossing pattern with Bateman going one way, and I believe Mark Andrews going the other. Yep, just to create some confusion here. And you have Isaiah Likely sitting here, and he looks to be potentially open. Maybe the DB was supposed to come in, but then noticed that the must-snap was there and decided to stand pat in case of a Mark Andrews crossing or what have you. But let's just take a look at what Lamar Jackson was able to do. Yeah, it looks like Isaiah Likely was supposed to sit there for the easy grab. That wasn't what happened. Let's create some magic with the confusion. Let's stop here. Isaiah Likely open over here. Now, we've seen Lamar Jackson make these type of throws before to Mark Andrews. I believe it was against the Browns last year. But Lamar had other plans. He tells him, move this way. He does just that. Now, this is funny because I like to bring this up. Remember last week one where Zay Flowers decided to keep streaking instead of sitting in the zone? And then Isaiah Likely did the same thing a couple plays later, but this time sat in the zone and, the infamous toe short of the end zone. This is very similar to that as far as what Isaiah Likely was able to do. But, of course, we're going to focus in on Lamar Jackson being unbelievable and shutting that block and shutting that tackle and getting that throw into the end zone. Huge touchdown. Huge. Probably the play that'll be played over and over again during his Hall of Fame induction speech, but let's look at it again from this angle. It's just a fun way to look at it. I mean, one stiff arm, two stiff arm. Lamar Jackson lost weight, but how? And then look at number 94. He is completely dumbfounded. What did I just witness? What did I sign up for? Playing this guy twice a year. I mean, just an amazing play by Lamar Jackson, and it really was the turning point, in my opinion. It gave the Ravens, besides the interception by Marlon Humphrey, it was just a huge momentum swing to see a quarterback do whatever he wanted. Oh, what a game. All right, I want to take a look at the play that I believe sealed the deal for the Ravens. Remember, the Ravens have been playing for behind for a large majority of the game. Derrick Henry hadn't had a lot of opportunities to be on the field because the Ravens were playing from behind, a la the Chiefs. But now it's tied, and you have a chance to win the game. You're at your own side of the field. You're inside the 43-yard line, it looks like. And you have Derrick Henry, who's fresh-legged, haven't played in like a half, really. And you're going up against a defense that's tired, who's been playing for 60-plus minutes, chasing Lamar Jackson, getting stiff-armed, yada, yada, yada. Here comes Derrick Henry, his 15th carry. Do you think the Bengals were excited to see number 22 back there? Probably not. Probably not. Let's hike the ball. Ball gets hiked. Great block by Patrick Ricard and by another guy we'll talk about. But look at this run. Geno Stone was the guy to save this touchdown. Would have been poetic to have that be a touchdown, just the way that he ran. Obviously, the kick comes in afterwards, but what a play by Derrick Henry. No chance. No chance for the Bengals. Now, let's look at it from this angle. I want you to pay attention to somebody who had a bad game, kind of, during the game that really caused the safety that I think shifted the momentum in the Bengals' favor, and the Ravens spent the rest of the game trying to gain their momentum back. Of course, if you know, I'm talking about Tylan Wallace. Let's look at his run and look at the boom from 16 that really gave Derrick Henry the hole needed to run this in. Now let's go back and look at that again because it was such a great block. Boom. That's all you got to give Henry, and he's off to the races. Good hustle play by this DB, and Geno Stone comes in and reaps the benefit. But, man, fantastic game by the Ravens. You couldn't ask for a better outcome if you're a Ravens fan. I showed the defense to show you this could have gone either way. Missed kick by the Bengals, interception by Joe Burrow. That's pretty much the difference. This was a back and forth. And if you're a Ravens fan who's heard from pundits that they are unable to come from behind, that narrative needs to be put to bed. You have a dynamic running back. You have a 2-time MVP in Lamar Jackson. You have Zay Flowers. Rashad Bateman showed his true colors today. Mark Andrews. And you have role players like Tylan Wallace creating blocks. Unsung heroes. And this could be what we're talking about come January and December. Because the Chiefs aren't playing that great. I mean, the Bills just lost to the Texans. This is a conference that is up for the taking. The Ravens just need to gel together on defense and continue to build, stack these wins, dominant wins on offense. And this team can go far. Thanks again for joining us for Pivotal Moments. New podcast episode will be coming out shortly, and we'll see you soon.